Thank you for joining us here on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Jason Hackett. Let's get to your headlines. We are following a line of destruction right now stretching across the state and south of the metro following severe storms that rolled across the state on Monday. Take a look at your screen right now. This is what's left of a barn destroyed by high-speed winds in rural Rice County. The Rice County Sheriff confirmed to us this morning that the barn was the only report of damage so far. Audrey Russo has been tracking the damage in Faribault, where debris is scattered at least a half a mile.
No reports of injuries from last night's storm, according to the Rice County Sheriff. Somewhat miraculous, considering the line of damage that you see behind me at this family farm. You can see that line of trees leading up to a shed that's been leveled. The homeowner tells us that they believe a tornado touched down around dinner time. It destroyed their shed, their barn, throwing debris about a half mile and uprooting trees.
It was basically pitch black on my side. And all of a sudden in the shadows, you could just see a funnel and just see it coming down. And I was like, oh no.
KARE 11 captured the lightning and the ominous clouds on the drive down to Rice County. Neighbors describe the moment the storm rolled in.
It just, the clouds, it was very intense, dark clouds. And the wind was picking up, and then there was lots of lightning.
This is outside of Faribault. I did also reach out to Faribault police. They confirmed to me no reports of damage within the city limits. Back to you.
Well, breaking this morning, Minnesota Representative Angie Craig is after a promotion. She launched her bid for U.S. Senate this morning, looking to succeed retiring Senator Tina Smith. In her announcement, Craig vowed to fight back against what she called chaos in Washington. She joins an already stacked Democratic primary facing Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan and former state Senate leader Melissa Lopez Franzen. Craig's Senate run leaves her House seat open, which sets up a political battle in Minnesota next year. Well, this morning polls are open for a special election in Minnesota Senate District 6. Voters will decide between the two candidates you see right here on your screen, Republican Carrie Heintzman and Democrat Denise Slipey. The two candidates only had a few weeks to campaign after the seat was left vacant by Justin Eichhorn. Eichhorn resigned last month after being arrested in a prostitution sting in Bloomington. Federal prosecutors charged him with attempting to solicit a minor for sex. Eichhorn pleaded not guilty last week. His trial is being pushed back to give his lawyers more time to review evidence. He's currently staying at a halfway house in Duluth until then. Well, today is President Trump's 100th day in office, and he's celebrating with a speech in Michigan, a critical swing state he won in November. The administration had planned to spend the week highlighting what they say are victories on immigration, reshaping the federal government, and eliminating alleged waste. But recent polls are highlighting many Americans' disapproval of the policies. NBC's Alice Barr is on Capitol Hill with details.
Hi there. The Trump administration is looking to focus on the economy today, aiming to push back against recent polling that shows Americans largely unhappy with the president's handling of trade and tariffs. That amid fresh controversy on the issue where he gets the highest marks, immigration.
President Trump today marking his 100th day in office with a rally in Michigan. As his sweeping tariffs hit the auto industry hard, Trump officials say the president is planning to reduce some fees on foreign auto parts for cars assembled in the U.S., while keeping tariffs on imported vehicles.
He's committed to bringing back auto production to the U.S., so we want to give the automakers a path to do that quickly, efficiently, and create as many jobs as possible.
That as just 39% of Americans approve of his tariff policies, according to a new NBC News Stay Tuned poll.
We're going to make a lot of money and we're going to cut taxes for the people of this country.
The president slamming recent polling as Democrats point to his approval rating overall underwater at 45%.
It's been 100 days of hell for American families.
The president gets higher ratings on immigration as the administration touts a 95% drop in illegal border crossings in March from the same time last year.
We are the most secure border in the history of this nation.
It's also defending against criticism over who it's targeting to remove from the country, including 3 U.S. citizen children sent to Honduras with their undocumented mothers, among them a 4-year-old boy who left without access to his cancer medications.
What we did is remove children, with their mothers who requested the children depart with them. This was a parental decision.
A migrant rights group calls that completely untrue.
The moms did not feel that they had any choice in the matter. They were simply told that their U.S. citizen children were going with them.
President Trump pressing ahead with 3 new executive orders on immigration, including one cracking down on sanctuary cities.
The Treasury Secretary holding a press briefing today after saying it's up to China to de-escalate trade tensions because they sell more to the U.S. than we sell to them, while acknowledging these are complex negotiations as markets to Main Street continue to watch for the trade war fallout to the broader economy. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, new this morning, Walmart and Target have resumed business with some of their Chinese suppliers. The U.S. retail giants had paused orders for a few weeks due to uncertainties over the back and forth of U.S. tariffs on goods imported from China. That's according to 2 Chinese factories. The resumption comes days after a meeting last week between President Donald Trump and the heads of Walmart, Target, Lowe's, and Home Depot. Trump's 145% levies on Chinese goods have led many American retailers to suspend or cancel outright previous agreements with their suppliers in the country. Right now in Canada, the country's Liberal Party keeping control after winning the country's federal election. That keeps newly appointed Prime Minister Mark Carney in power. The country's relationship with America, a key point in Carney's campaign. He had this to say shortly after winning the election.
Humility is also about recognizing that one of the responsibilities of government is to prepare for the worst, not hope for the best. As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never ever happen.
Well, new this morning, a man has been arrested in Iraq connected to the deadly New Year's Day terror attack in New Orleans, Louisiana earlier this year. A Supreme Judicial Court in Iraq says it's working with the U.S. on the case. The FBI identified the main attacker as Samsud Din Jabbar, a 42-year-old U.S. Army veteran who had pledged allegiance to ISIS. In the early hours of January 1st, Jabbar drove a pickup truck into a New Orleans crowd and then opened fire. 14 people died and dozens more were injured. Jabbar was killed in a shootout with police. Developing this morning, investigators trying to figure out what sparked a massive fire in a Richfield apartment complex. This happened last night near Chicago Avenue and East 72nd Street. Crews were called in to help fight the flames, and Richfield Fire Chief Mike Dobesh says when they arrived on scene, several people were hanging out of the 3rd floor window.
On arrival, we had people hanging out of the 3rd floor, and the crews put a ladder in place as they were stretching a line to rescue the victims and then get in and put the fire out.
Now, sadly, 3 cats died in the fire, but no one was hospitalized. Right now, the Red Cross is helping 13 people whose homes were damaged find housing. Southwest Airlines has made updates to its fare bundles. So there are 4: Choice Extra, Choice Preferred, Choice, and Basic. So as its title suggests, Choice Extra is the most pricey selection, and it allows travelers to get on board early, to get 2 free checked bags, access to spacier seats at booking, and a complimentary internet connection. Now, customers who take any of the other 3 options have to pay to check their luggage and use the internet. The new bundles will go on sale later this year for flights in 2026. Turning now to the Minnesota Wild, who are waking up in Vegas this morning ahead of a crucial Game 5 tonight against the Golden Knights. The winner will lead by 1 in their playoff wildcard series, which is now tied 2 games apiece right now. Puck drops at 8:30. Here's Wild head coach John Hynes on how the team is preparing.
Now it's a best of 3. I think for us at this point in the time, the 2 days is probably good for us. You get a little bit of a reset. It's the first day they've had off in the whole series. We didn't have to travel, and now I think they come back today energized. We had a game plan for them, and now we move on to the next 3. So I think from that standpoint, it was beneficial, and we'll be ready to go.
Well, from the Wild to the Wolves, they're out on the West Coast right now. These are new images of the team touching down in Los Angeles about 8 hours ago. Game 5 against the Lakers is tomorrow night with a chance to clinch the series. It's just the second time in franchise history the Wolves own a 3-1 lead in the playoffs. Tip-off is set for 9 p.m. Go Wolves and go Wild. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.